So let's talk a little bit about Greek history. I have several videos I hope to make for you. Let's start off with understanding. Hopefully you've been reading this for the past week or so. Greek starts off with a monarchy, goes to oligarchy, tyranny, and then democracy. Almost all civilizations start with monarchies. They have special people, they think, who have the skills to lead. And oftentimes this is because, and you should know this, these special people are supposedly given this power by God. This is the divine right that we talk about. So for hundreds and hundreds of years in Greece, we know that we have a monarchy, special people who lead. But we want to get to democracy. So why do monarchies fail? Well, oftentimes they're economic situations. There are famines. There's drought. There's not enough land for people to till to make a living. All kinds of things that go on. Sometimes there just aren't jobs. Sometimes there are earthquakes. All kinds of disastrous stuff. For many hundreds of years, monarchs were able to deal with these issues. But at some point, their monarchy will fall apart and people will challenge them. And usually the people who challenge them will be people with wealth, because they have the money to buy armies to overthrow kings. And somewhere around 700, 600 BC, there are a group of wealthy nobles in Athens that are able to purchase armies to overthrow their kings, and they create a new government. And when we have these governments led by small groups of wealthy people, sometimes we call it an aristocracy, but this is called an oligarchy. And these nobles want to save their wealth and their power. That doesn't mean that they'll necessarily treat the peasants poorly. They'll make sure that they have food to eat, a place to sleep, but they're not going to treat them especially well. As long as they can maintain their wealth, these people will try to maintain as much power as they can. And in Greece, this goes on for quite a while. But still, again, we have earthquakes, we have famine, we have unhappy people, and at some point things are so disastrous, peasants begin to borrow money based upon the wealth of their own land. And when they can't pay that money back, the oligarchs either seize that land, which means the people no longer have anything to farm. Sometimes they're even sold into slavery, and they're taken away. Well, revolution begins to foment in Athens. And when you have a revolution, that means if the revolutionaries win, then the oligarchs will be thrown out and maybe kill themselves. So what do? You try to find somebody who can make some minor changes to make sure that there won't be a revolution. So around the 5th century, 4th century BC, what do? They bring in somebody the people can trust. And this one person they bring in is Solon. He is a poet, he's an orator, he walks around giving great speeches, people trust him and they know who he is. And they know he's a likable person. So the oligarchs bring him in. We call Solon the reformer. Why? Because he makes some minor changes to Greek life to guarantee that there won't be a revolution. And those changes are, first, he brings back people who were sold into slavery and allows them to become free. He gets rid of the debt. He forgives the debt that most of the poor peasants have. Not only that, he encourages trade and growth. So he tells people, grow grapes and make wine. Grow olive trees, you can have olive oil, and you can export all that stuff. People will want wine, they will want olive oil, they'll want olives. Not only that, okay, he also says we have a rich land in this red clay. It's beautiful clay. Let's use that clay to make pottery. And they do. If you go to the Art Museum in Chicago, you can see a lot of this. And the Greeks do make a lot of pottery. People need vessels to put things in, to store things in, and they begin to export these things as well. So as a reformer, someone makes the changes to stabilize Greek society. That's not going to be enough. That'll be in my next video.